Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with another video on Puca Trade. This one's going to be kind of a downer video about Puca Trade. I had a lot of success with Puca Trade about a month or two ago when I just first started the system. It was easy to make a trade. It was pretty nice to interact with a lot of people. I added a lot of messages like, wow, I can't believe I'm receiving a card from you. Or when they would send cards to me, I'd get a nice little note. And those little notes just made my day when a fan sent me a card and let me know they appreciated me. But anywho, I'm having a bit of an issue with Puca Trade. And there was a post on Reddit not too long ago about how bots have taken over Puca Trade. And I think that's been my experience with Puca Trade in the past month. It's been very hard to find a trade that is worthwhile. Now, the signal thing that I'm going to talk about is sharks. So we have two groups of people that have completely taken over Puca Trade. I have in my halves, I have so many cards listed here. So many standards, so many modern cards. Just the list goes on and on and on of all rarities. And I keep adding some whenever I see any cards. I've added like full sets of cards. And then, unfortunately, I get down to it, and I have very few trades that are actually worthwhile because I'm not going to send something under like at least $1.50 because it's not worth the shipping in a letter envelope. Between the envelope, the stamp, the hard case, you have to be around at least, I would say, $1.50 up just to break even or make any sort of profit. So I guess the Reddit post was all about, I'll have to find it for you, I'll link it in the description, about how they know that botting software has completely taken over. So what the bots do is it's able to click faster than humanly possible. And I've noticed this. I'll go to make a trade, and as soon as I make a trade, like, I'll see one guy with like a few cards that I actually could send off. And when I go to click on it, it's immediately saying, oh, someone already beat you to it. Someone's already saying that card. Or what's even worse is when you get stuck with a trade, you'll click on a card and you'll click send card because they have multiples that you're going to send, and they no longer have multiples, and you're stuck shipping a 45-cent card to someone. So anywho, I am hopefully that Puca Trade is going to address this and try to even the playing field. What I highly suggest is that you set your own prices, and then it'll not only be easier to receive a card. So let's say that I want a certain card, I can set a price, and then people will look at it and be like, oh, cool, I'll send it at that price, that's fine. And that'll take some of the more high competitor botters out of or they'll have to redo their bot software to not only just send the card immediately if a trade is up. So that, in fact, that will completely kill botting in my opinion, because the bots will be working on such a loss if, say I set Ink Moth Nexus or some other card at, let's go to my wants here. So right now I've got a ton of not wants. So let's say that I'm not getting anyone sending me a tooth and nail at 967. So I'll put it, or whatever, so I can put it up to 1,000 and then guarantee someone send it to me. Or I know that if I have a lot of points and these cards haven't been up here for long, say I'm willing to pay only 100 for War Gates. And I post the War Gates 100. If it's a bot, the bot is going to somehow have to implement software, which eventually they'll get there. But right off the first, that we'll be able to kill the bots because they'll see, hey, I've got a War Gate, I'll send it, and they'll see me, and I'm only wanting 100 points for it, and then they send it to me, and they get a huge loss. So that's one way to kind of kill the bots and the sharks, is be able to set your own prices on Puca Trade. I don't think that'd be very hard for Puca Trade to install in their software. Now, I like this for two reasons. Reason number one is that it's going to increase wants, I think. I think a lot of people aren't willing to pay a lot of these prices in points when there's a lot of people stockpiling for like Scrublands. There's some undervalued cards on Puca Trade and then overvalued, very overvalued cards. And so this would help regulate the market, in my opinion, rather than them using some sort of super secret tech to determine what is the fair market value. Fair market value is set by what people want. And right now, another good thing is it'd also be able to get rid of my next problem, which is the sharks. On when there's a discrepancy in price, they all swarm to the frenzy. Now look at all these people that want Ink Moth Nexuses. There's a reason people want Ink Moth Nexus. First of all, there's a lot of speculation that Infect, I think it's almost confirmed now that Infect is not going to be in Modern Masters 2, and the card is skyrocketing. And like I said in my last video, Puca Trade is like 3 weeks, well, not 3 weeks, more like 3 days behind the pack. So all the other softwares will update their price. eBay, TCG, of course, are real time, and then all the vendors will follow suit and up the price on a card that is selling like crazy. But Puca Trade seems to be three days behind. These sharks right here make a killing off of that by really preying on unaware people about what the fair value of an Ink Moth Nexus is. So let's just go over to, whoa, $19? Let's go to eBay. eBay, it's selling for, so TCG low, there's some for $18, but it's actually, boom, they're sold out. This is going to even spike even more, as it's going to be around $30 per Ink Moth Nexus, just the speculation on them. And eBay's probably going to be following the same suit of, yep, one rare Ink Moth Nexus for $18. So, yep, that is about the fair price of a Ink Moth Nexus, around $19. Yet Puca Trade is stuck behind. So if we're allowed to set our own prices, this hopefully will stop the sharking, because then people will have to be more aware of prices. They can't be lazy. They can't just be like, oh, I'll send that card and not double check the actual value of a card. Now, Puca Trade can get around this. They can put, what I suggest they do is they put a suggested price, like a fair price trade. Like people use MTG Price or Star City Games or TCG as a reference. Like, what is my card worth in a trade? Puca Trade can still do that. They can still put, we suggest that you trade it for this value, but they should still give us the ability to manage our own prices. And this would be just so awesome as a trader, because then people would be able to send me a lot of these cards that, like, if I really want a card and I have the points for it, I can up the value of it. I've had some of these cards on here forever. I don't have any points right now because people have sent me cards, but sometimes I'd want a card and it sits there. I need it for a deck right now, and I'm willing to pay a little bit over and then people can actually view all of the prices, say, huh, this guy wants it for $13.87. This guy wants it for $15. This guy wants it for $17. This one wants it for $19. Then, oh, I'll send it to the $1900, and that'd make it a lot easier. These people would have to pay the fair. They would regulate themselves, and then, in fact, like Puca Trade could just completely get rid of their little algorithm that goes and crawls other prices, and let the market, the Puca Trade market, determine the value of a card, and not some outside source do that. So that's just some suggestions for Puca Trade. I am going to remove my stamp of approval from Puca Trade right now. I was going to actually put, maybe I will just because I'm greedy, I'll put a reference code, and if you do want to sign up for it, it will actually give me some Puca points. And Puca points always go towards me building more decks, so it's a way to support Rogue Deck Builder, is sign up for Puca Trade and give me some points. But for now, I'm going to remove my stamp of approval from Puca Trade. I'm no longer going to use the service. I'm going to go back to eBay and TCG until that somehow they can even the playing fields. A, address the bots, and B, address the sharking. And this is sharking. This is classic 101 sharking. This is seeing where you can exploit the system where it's undervalued in one sector, and just, catch people off guard and make a profit off of it. So I'm not going to say shame on all these people that are doing this. You see these same people do this over and over and over. They're probably big name stores that this is their full-time job to buy and sell cards. So I understand you need to find those angles in the market, and I don't think they're greedy, bad, awful people. They are just exploiting a flaw in a system. It's Puca Trade's job as a website, as a service, to address this. So once again, Rogue Deck Builder, Kevin, me, is no longer going to use the Puca Trade system until they address this. Thanks for watching, and I hope that Puca Trade actually sees this and they'll be able to, at least give me a response. Puca Trade, response in the comments, sure. Let me know what you guys are doing. I'd love to reinstate the Rogue Deck Builder seal of approval for whatever that's worth. Anyway, I'm not, saying that that's worth much besides just my own little personality here on YouTube and as a speculator. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Be careful out there with trades, especially for this. Know your trade value before you go into a trade. There's sites like mtgprice.com and mtggoldfish.com that are very, very quick. They actually update within the hour prices. So use those tools when you're trading and don't get caught off guard by these sharks. Kevin from RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.